Priya from second sem BCA. I'm going to explain about constructor in details and types of constructor in details. Now let us study what is constructor. A constructor is a special type of subroutine called to create an object. It presents the new object for use, often accepting arguments that the constructor uses to set required member variable. Means a constructor is a special type used to create an object. Constructor is used to create an object. Now let us study about rules for using constructor. The name of the constructor should be same as that of the class name. Means the name of the constructor should be same as that of a class name. Suppose you are giving it class name is average and the name of the constructor should be average. Second point, a constructor cannot be declared as final, static, synchronized or abstract. Means that constructor cannot be declared as a final, static, synchronized or a abstract. And constructor cannot have a explicit type. And a constructor can access a modifier to a control the access. And the constructor can have a access to modifier to control the access. Before we have studied the rules for constructor. Now let us study the types of constructor. There are two types of constructor, namely default constructor and parameterized constructor. Now we can know about the default constructor. The default constructor in Java initialize the data members of the class to their default value, such as 0 for int, 0.0 for double, etc. This constructor is implemented by default by the Java compiler if there is no explicit constructor implemented by the user for the class. In simple terms, Java constructor means the constructor which does not have any parameters is called default constructor. Means in the constructor which does not have any parameter that is known as a default constructor. If we observe in example, in the third line there is a edu. We have not given any parameter inside the edu. Such type of a constructor known as default constructor. Suppose if there is any parameter inside the edu, then the default it is not the default constructor. Now let us know about the parameterized constructor. The parameterized constructor accepts parameter with which you can initialize the instance variable. Using parameterized constructor, you can also initialize the class variable dynamically at the time of instantiating the class with distinct value. That means in simple term, parameterized constructor where if we are given a parameter inside the program, then it is known as a parameterized constructor. Syntax of parameterized constructor is public class sample open bracket int I public sample. In public sample we have inside the parenthesis we have given int a. That means we have declared a parameter. Then this dot I is equal to I. Now let us move to the example. Live demo public class test string val test string val. This dot val is equal to val. In main we have declared an object called test. Then system dot obj dot val value. Then the output will be test. In this in test we have given a parameterized, so it is known as parameterized constructor. Now let us study about the constructor overloading. The compiler differentiates constructor based on how many arguments are present in the constructor and the other parameters like in the order in which the arguments passed is known as constructor overloading. Now let us see a programming example of constructor overload. In example number 1, we have given a class name as class school and the body of the constructor 2 and body of the constructor. In this we have a different parameter list, that is school in the bracket string name and school string name comma int roll number. So in this example we have a different parameter list, if that is known as a constructor overload. If there should be a different parameter list, that is known as a constructor overload. In second example, public class school comma school string name close parenthesis school string name comma int year. In 0 parameter constructor and in 1 parameter constructor and in 2 parameter constructor, there is having a different parameter list. This is known as constructor overload. Now we can study about the difference between constructor and method. In method name need not to be same as the class name, and in constructor, the constructor name should be same as the class name. It should not be different in constructor. Method as a return type and constructor does not have any return type. In method, it has a return type, and in constructor, it does not have any return type. In method, you can call a method any number of times. In method, you can call a method any number of times, but in constructor is called when an object is created. It is called when the object is created.